Like about to take pictures. You know how we can go to JCPenney?
Yeah.
How they position you. That's hilarious. Alright.
I'm just gonna stay like that the whole time.
Makes me poop. Oh my gosh. Hey y'all, hey, it's me again and the big guy. So it's Tuesday, so what? Let's talk to, no, I changed it. Convos with Chris on a Tuesday. So yes, as you guys can see, he's still left me. We're going to talk about our building process, building our home, the Wise Texas home, our journey, and all that good stuff, because it has been 2 years since we broke ground on the Wise Texas home. I can't believe it's been 2 years already.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't really think about it.
Yeah, like it seemed like we just got here and time is just zooming by. Like it'll be 3 years in November since we've moved here officially, so it's just mind-blowing how time just goes by fast. But I know a few of you guys have asked me about our home, when you guys want to get a full furnished tour. I saw questions about any like renovations and stuff we're doing, so I figure before I even talk about that, let's talk about our process, because we never sat down and talked about it. In case any of you guys are interested in building a home or finding a home, we're just going to talk about all of that in this video. So without any further ado, let's get it. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell twice so that you're notified every time I post a video. That's my little shindig. I know, I'm sorry. Keep on. So like I said, it has been 2 years since we broke ground on the Wise Texas home. Well, we're going to talk about today our process on how we found our home, how we paid for it, all that good stuff. Like I said, just in case any of you guys are thinking about building a home, we're going to talk about the differences, all that good stuff, okay?
Not. First thing is whether we decided to build this time. Building versus buying. And now this is my opinion. I'm not like a professional, home builder or anything. But it's a better value to buy an existing home. Just like cars. As soon as you move in, it depreciates. You're gonna lose value right there.
Yeah.
But you do get to make some choices that maybe offset the amount of money that you're spending. And so the building versus buying, it's going to be a personal decision. Obviously, you're going to get more for your money when you're buying an existing home, but you're going to get the details and stuff that you want if you build. And then I guess in the same line, there's going to be that custom versus the cookie cutter home like we got.
Yeah. Which we're going to talk about.
They just give you they give you a few choices. You get to pick your colors and everything. But I guess we have that written down later. We'll talk about that afterwards.
Yep. It's a personal preference, but we decided to build because it's something that we talked about when we lived in Maryland. So
It's because she wanted to build a home.
I've always wanted to. Well, you've built homes with your parents, so he's experienced that before. He experienced that with his, family and everything. When they built the home, every time they moved. So I wanted to experience that for myself with my family, because I've always been interested in seeing how, you get to pick out things, you get to design, which like I said, we'll talk about, and just see it go from the ground up. So moving here, I just felt in my heart like, I think we should do it. And it all worked out and we have our home. Like I mentioned, we broke ground around this time 2 years ago. So to see how it went from dirt to a home was just mind-blowing. So I just love the process, but like I said, I just felt in my heart. It's always been a heart desire of mine to do that with my family, and I'm glad that it all worked out. So when it comes to building, there are a lot of factors that you have to consider before you even think about breaking ground or, getting your house built up and everything. So the first thing is you need to choose your location.
The biggest thing is, you once you pick the location, you can't change it.
Yeah.
Like you can't just pick up your plot of ground and move it.
Yeah.
So the location is probably the most important thing.
Yeah.
And you need to consider commute.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to be doing the most. I mean, unless your whole family is a stay-at-home family, you know, you're going to be commuting 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Maybe more. You need to consider like shopping,
Yeah.
like grocery stores,
Convenience around.
yeah, just regular routine shopping trips, stuff you need to go out and buy. And then, you know, thirdly, it would be entertainment.
Yeah.
Like what's around, what are you going to be able to do? You know, so location is very important.
Yeah.
Like that is the most important thing, and that's why it's, you know, anytime you talk to a real estate agent or anybody who's into it, you know, location.
Yeah.
So you need to choose the right location, something that works for you. We chose to live a little further out to get away from the noise and the congestion.
Yeah.
And I like it. She's probably not as happy about it because we do have a little bit of a drive, and then we have to deal with some heavy traffic during the afternoon rush hour. So whenever we're going to run into town, we either have to do it before rush hour
Yep.
or after rush hour.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of inconvenient, especially with, you know, Maddie and her activities,
Yeah.
because we can't adjust the time of her activities. So what is, you know, a 10 to 15 minute drive some points of the day becomes a 30 to 40 minute drive when we get stuck in that traffic and if there's an accident or a breakdown. We've already not taken her to classes
because of that.
because we'd have been sitting in traffic for 3/4 of the class.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just you got to try and think about that. And my old realtor back in Maryland,
She was the best.
yeah.
We miss you, girl.
But she told me to do it, and you got to make the drive a couple of times before you decide on a location.
Yes.
And don't just go in the daytime when everyone's at work. Go in the evening.
Yeah.
Go at night.
Yeah.
You know.
Try it at different times during different days.
Yeah. If you're buying an existing home, go on a Saturday night. Just go cruise through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna have loud, crazy neighbors, and you're not a loud, crazy person, it's not gonna be a good fit. So you want to go different times of day, different times of the week.
Yeah. Those are good tips. Well, we did the drive, you know, did it different times, especially just to make sure that we were set on this location. And I mean, it's just the traffic that, like, I love the view. I love being away from the congestion. I also like being away from convenience because that was our problem when we lived in Maryland. Like we lived near 2 Walmarts, 2 Chick-fil-A's, a mall. Like we were
Everything.
Yeah,
everything was within 5 miles of us.
Yes, so it was just tempting to say, "Oh, I'm just gonna run down to Safeway to give me some juice."
Yeah.
And then we spend $100 for no reason. So, and even when we moved here, like we lived near a shopping center, so we were in the middle of convenience and being able to plan out our trips, you know, to say, okay, we're going to get this, going to get that, we go at this time, like it's better for us and it just helps our routine a lot better. So what he said is just true. You have to just consider all things before you settle at your location, and also the price of your location, because if you stay in the middle or next to a lot of convenience, more than likely the prices are going to be a little higher, right? Yeah, because you are like literally
you're gonna pay for that convenience.
Yeah, and that's how it is, because our home here is cheaper than what it is across town because we're not around convenience. So. Now choosing your builder. So when we decided that we were going to build, we looked at all builders that we knew, built homes here.
In this location.
In this
We
location.
picked our location first, and then we had 2 options out here.
Yeah, so we went with, we actually wanted, we both agreed on that house. Like, we liked the house, but where we wanted our house built, they couldn't do it because of
the lot.
The
lot size, it was like 2 feet too narrow.
Just
like the agent tried to push it through. She asked, but they just said there's no way they could do it.
Yeah, because of the city codes and
there's
limits.
all sorts of coding and regulations. You have to have 10 feet of space for this, and 10 feet of space for that. And, this area has to be open.
Yeah.
So
the house would have been perfect in this location, but unfortunately it just didn't work out. So we went with another builder, and
well, this was our second choice.
Yeah, it was our second choice, but it worked out because the price was
the
right.
price was a whole lot better.
Yes.
I mean,
and we got a lot of upgrades for our budget, because one thing, we were on a strict budget. Like, what we got from our down payment, what we got from our closing, right?
Selling the old house.
Yes, selling the old house, that's what we used towards our down payment. So having a budget, that's another thing. Make sure you have a strict budget, because if you do build, a lot of stuff that you choose, the lighting, the island, or the pieces of the kitchen, little things add up. So you want to make sure that you have the budget to make ends meet with any upgrades that you decide.
That was one thing she just reminded me of it, but we could have gotten the other house that we liked a little more, the model that we liked more.
Yeah.
But it would have been the base model of it.
Yeah.
By choosing our second home, we got every upgrade available. Except for a little back patio.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have gotten that anyway.
Yeah.
Because it was a ridiculous amount of money, and even the builder.
Yeah, it was so small. It was like, why?
The builder told us that's ridiculous. You can get that done for half the price afterwards if you really want it.
Exactly.
So if the builder themselves tells you that it's not worth it,
listen to them.
Yeah. But that was one nice thing, because we have a fantastic master bathroom.
Yes.
And we wouldn't have had that in the other home.
Like,
and you spend a lot of time in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Make sure you have a nice bathroom.
That's a little hideout.
Yeah.
But yeah, those little things add up. Not little, but if you want a pendant light, or you want an outdoor light, or an outdoor porch or something, those things add up. So definitely consider that when it comes to budgeting. But we got literally almost every upgrade in this house because it fit within our budget, and it all worked out. Yeah, so when it comes to choosing a builder, definitely research who's building in the area that you want, because some builders, like, there's 2 other builders here, but they don't build in this area. So you want to make sure that you consider the builders who are building in this area. Look up some of the houses that they've built before. Look at some of their plans, because if you go with the cookie cutter route, they're going to give you plans. And I'll just say this before we talk about that, but people think, oh, I'm going to build a house, so I'm going to get it like this, that. No, you're not, because they have floor plans. Choose your floor plan, then you get to pick out your lights, your tiles, and stuff like that, which, like I said, we'll talk about that in a bit. So when it comes to that, you have to consider the builder, because our builder, their thing is they build houses. So we knew going in we weren't going to get the fancy chandeliers and the curved staircase and stuff. Like, they don't do that. They just build houses. So it is what it is, but
they don't do custom.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. It is how they put it.
Yeah.
It's not a custom home. And that's a big difference. And again, if you go custom, you're gonna pay a lot more.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We knew which model we wanted. We knew which builder we were going with, who built that model. And then they gave us a layout or the lots that were available. So basically the neighborhood plan. And we looked at all the lots, and this is one thing that I'm really happy with. We chose a good lot.
Yeah.
Of the ones that were available out here that could hold our house.
Yeah.
Because we got the biggest model they had.
Yeah.
So that eliminated a couple lots right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because some of them just aren't wide enough, they're not deep enough. But of the ones that our house would fit on, we were actually able to get one that had an easement on one side. We got a nice yard. We got a nice size yard out of it, which is great for the kids.
Yeah. If our cul-de-sac was like set up in a way where houses could be like, it's hard to explain, but you know how like there are like usually 4 houses or 2 houses in a cul-de-sac and like the driveways, like if they had that would have been perfect, because I don't know, it's just something about cul-de-sac homes.
Yeah, well, all the lots on the cul-de-sac were already taken here.
Yeah.
Plus, looking at the plans, the people who have the very back of the cul-de-sac, they have neighbors from the next street that are right next to them. And I mean, so, you know, if you can, choose the lots that are closest to the end of the street. You'll have less traffic.
Yeah.
Because no one will be going by your house. You know, if you're right at the entrance to the street, everyone who lives on that street is going to be driving in and out.
Just going right by you.
And I'll tell you what, we've learned. We've learned the hard way that a lot of people don't care if there's kids in the neighborhood.
Nope.
If they want to get home 3 seconds faster, they will get home 3 seconds faster.
Yep, driving 50 miles per hour in a dead-end street where they do that at. So yeah, definitely visit the lot and just see the options, you know, make sure your house can fit on the lot, and just, you know, scan it out, make sure your yard's good and all that good stuff. Just
if there's already people there,
you
can talk to them, see what kind of people they are, see if they have any knowledge.
Or dogs. Because that's what it's like, everybody has a dog, so it's like.
I mentioned it earlier, going Saturday night, going to Friday night, because we have some neighbors here who like to party. And, you know,
so 4 o'clock in the morning.
7 years ago, that might have been a good thing, but it's not now.
Yeah.
And it can get a little irritating sometimes, so find out as much as you can about the area.
Yeah, especially when it's on a weekday.
That goes back to location, though.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, you get to choose your countertops.
Yeah, you get to pick your tiles for your bathroom, your
color schemes, your flooring.
Yeah, your carpet.
So that's a lot of decision making.
Yeah.
And one thing I know, and I mean you can watch any TV show and they'll tell you, but if you're planning on selling the home, don't pick wild colors.
No, just keep it basic.
Go neutral if possible.
Yeah.
You know, beige, tan.
Yeah.
For some reason down here, yellow.
Yeah, well, that's why we didn't go with a pre-existing home, because the style.
The tile.
Yeah, like it's different here. Like we haven't seen a lot of modern homes. Like, you know, most people are going with the farmhouse.
I think the biggest thing with the existing homes here was tile floors.
Yeah, like they're
hard ceramic tile floors.
Yeah, like the model homes or the open houses that we went to before choosing a builder, all of them had tile. I was like, where's the carpet? So, and then it just seemed like that it was just like yellow walls and stuff. So it just wasn't our style as far as some of the pre-existing homes we saw. So that's what kind of confirmed us to go with the building route, so we can get kind of what we wanted.
Just touch here, when we're saying yellow, we're not talking about like a beautiful Pittsburgh yellow. Like they like this dingy dark yellow down here.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's different. It's different. But that's why we decided to just get our own and call it a day. But yeah, you get to pick out a lot of stuff. Our builder didn't have a design studio, because a lot of big builders like Toll Brothers and Ryan Homes, you go to like a design center to pick out like your handles and all that, which we didn't do, but that's what we're talking about in the custom thing. You just gotta pick and choose what they have available, and then if you decide to change it or make it your own, then you could do so down the line.
And I mean, that's one thing we did, and thank you to my parents because they paid for it, but they had one choice for paint color.
Yes.
I mean, every house that this builder built they painted the interior the same color.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess they just got a super deal on paint, but we had it repainted.
Yeah.
So.
To make it just feel like ours.
I mean, we got it repainted before we had. I mean, we had all our stuff in the house, but we didn't have it set up.
Yeah.
We had it repainted right away, and it made it nice.
Yeah. It's like bright. It's brighter, but then it's not like white. You know, it's not. It doesn't feel like everything's white.
And it's not yellowish beige.
Yeah, because I did not like that. No, I did not like that.
We did ask for a few custom little things.
Yeah.
So, what else did we ask for? We asked for the undermounted sink, but they couldn't do it. Which it would have been nice because it would have made our sink about 1.5 inches deeper.
Yeah.
Plus, then when you're wiping crap off the counter, it just
push it right
straight in. But one thing we did do is the jacks, the cable jacks and outlets.
Yeah.
We had them put them, 5 feet?
Yeah. To be able to.
Yeah, about 5 feet off the floor. And that way, because all of our TVs are flat TVs. So most TVs nowadays, you're going to mount them to the wall. So if you get the outlet and the jack, then you don't have to worry about the cables hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
So
at least they were nice enough to do that for us.
Yeah, and they'd already put them in.
Yeah.
And I noticed it the one day, and I'm like, hey man, I wanted those up, and he's like, oh, that's right.
And they did it.
So they did it. They went through and they moved all of them.
Yep.
And little things like that. I remember the one house my mom had built. She had a little window, like not like a glass window, but just like a hole in the wall. She had that put in from the kitchen out to the living room.
Okay.
And I don't think that was like a.
She just asked.
Just something she wanted done, and they did it.
Nice.
So some little things, little conveniences, they'll be able to throw that kind of stuff in.
Yeah.
So.
Something small, but it'll make a big difference. Like the TVs, like it just makes our walls look a lot better, like without the cords hanging and stuff. And I mean, it's just convenient.
Older, they use safety outlets.
Yeah.
So all of the outlets are actually already, we didn't have to put safety covers in them.
Yeah.
They have those little things that like slide out of the way when you put something in, and then it slides back.
Yeah, so that's another thing, because Tristan was a wee baby when we moved here, so it was just very nice that they were able to have that for us. So you gotta visit your site, make sure you like where you're gonna live, where you're gonna build, because once they start, unless you want to pay a whole bunch of money to break out of your contract, or unless something out of your control happens, once it starts, it's gonna go up.
Yeah, and I mean, you can notice if they're making a mistake, like my outlets.
Yeah.
I mean, if we hadn't been visiting that day, they'd already had the drywall up.
Yep.
And they just said no way.
Yeah, can't do it.
But because the drywall wasn't up yet, they were able to move those boxes, and there's a lot of little things that these are cookie cutter homes. They built 1,000 of them.
Yeah, so they're just building the standard. Because our home, the builder said our home was the only one that they did, like they added everything, right? Yeah. Because I guess people are, I don't want to say they're basic, but I guess they're just not into all the fancy, the tray ceilings and the pendant lights, that they're just so used to building it basic that ours, because we had so many upgrades, it was like, okay, well, they had to do this and make sure everything was good. So you just want to make sure that you come to visit. Come every day if you can, as long as traffic allows and you're not busy, come every day. Come while they're working so you can ask questions. You can discuss what's the next step and everything. I really enjoyed coming to see the house. Yeah. One thing I wish we would have done, I know you probably don't care about this, but I wish we would have wrote on the framing, because I know a lot of people write Bible verses or like really nice quotes. I want us to do that in the next house, because I don't know, when you just write out those things, it just keeps your home protected. I don't know, I just love that. So we didn't do that this time, but next time we gonna do that.
One nice thing, we visited a lot, and we met our neighbors.
Yeah.
Before our house was even here, like we already knew that Maddie was gonna have a friend right next door.
That was pretty much her age.
Yeah, so that worked out. They're really good friends right now.
Mm-hmm. And then we got to see, that's when I got chased by that dog too.
Broke your phone.
Yep, and I peed on myself. So that's how I knew the neighbor down there. I knew that they had a big dog, and I told them, don't do that. Let's keep them in the backyard.
It was kind of scary at the time, but then afterwards we realized that it's a big dog.
Yeah.
But he was still a puppy, and he was just really excited.
No. Mm-mm.
He's a big dog now, full grown, and they do not let him near the street anymore.
No. So we got some good neighbors that listen because...
Yeah, there's some other neighbors in the neighborhood who don't keep their dogs in.
No.
Or they just, their fence has gotten so deteriorated that the dog just runs right through it.
We've seen it all, y'all. Like, it's hilarious, but it's a learning process for us because we went from living around, we have 4 neighbors, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
We have 4 neighbors to having
tons.
Yeah, like we live in a development, so this is something new to us, and we weren't expecting it to be, it's not bad, but it's just an adjustment. So you live and you learn. But that's why we say make sure you visit the location and the site so you can get a feel of what to expect, because Lord knows. Then once it's up and everything's good to go, you get your keys. Well, you close on it.
Yeah.
And then you get your keys and you're good to go. And that's what happened for us.
I mean, there's a couple other things, because
Yeah.
when it's being built, they're paying for the water, they're paying for the electricity, and they'll tell you hey, you have 48 hours to get this switched over. And I didn't want to find out what happened if I didn't get it done in 48 hours.
Yeah.
So you have to get the water switched over, you have to get the electricity switched over. Most of the stuff is taken care of in the closing.
Yeah.
And they have professionals that handle that. And that's one nice thing about going with a big company like this is, if it were some private contractor who built 3 houses a year, their work's probably going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to that kind of stuff, they don't do it that often.
Yeah.
So cookie cutter plans and stuff, it does have advantages too. And speed. I mean,
oh yeah,
our house was done in under 6 months.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another thing we'll talk about. We have the floor plans and stuff. It goes up just like this. The houses that they are building behind, this is a different builder behind us, but it seemed like as soon as they break ground, the houses are up in 2 weeks. So.
And they have the lumber, it comes numbered.
Yes.
So they don't even have to think about it.
Nope.
It's oh, piece 1. Hey, what do we do next? Oh, piece 2.
Boop, 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 boop.
Or I guess it'd be piece 2.
Yeah.
Piece 3.
Piece 4. It goes up so quick because our house was supposed to be built, 4 months, 4 or 5?
Yeah, they said they could build it in 90 days or something.
Yeah.
But then there was a delay. And
the weather.
Because there's so many of them. And I think the builders actually use a lot of the same subcontractors.
Yeah.
So the people that do the concrete, they were already working on 2 houses down the street, which meant they couldn't get to ours until the next week.
Yeah.
So that was a delay. And then the siding guys, they had 3 houses in front of us that they had to finish, and then they could get to our house. So, but I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's going to happen custom. That's going to happen anything. If you're going to go for a remodel,
Yeah.
you might find the perfect company to do it, but they got 6 projects ahead of you. So that's life.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
But that's right. And that's why they give you a timeline or a time frame, because they don't want to say 90 days and then all these things happen and it's well, you promised me 90 days. They don't want to be held liable for lying. So, that's why they give you a time frame. But if you do go with the cookie cutter, just know that it's not, more than likely, depending on the square footage as well and all the designs and stuff you get, it could take a good 5-6 months. They go up quicker as far as our next house goes, because we got this house because we didn't want to continue renting, because for one, our rent that we were paying when we first moved here was high. It was high for a townhome, and God is just so good. Our mortgage is way less than what we were paying for rent, and plus we wanted to invest. We just want to invest in something that was.
I'm not a big fan of renting. It feels like you're just kind of throwing money away.
Yeah.
I mean, we may lose money on this house, but it's not going to be nearly as much as we would have lost in rent.
Yeah, just giving it to.
And we're paying about what, 70% of what we were paying in rent.
Yeah.
And we have twice the house.
Yeah.
So
it's truly a blessing. And I mean, everybody has their own preference. You know, if you want to rent a home, that's fine, especially if you move a lot. But we didn't want to go back. We wanted our own home, but we didn't want to rent a home. We just wanted to have something to call our own, especially, you know, being new here and having a family. But moving forward, because we've just been praying for God to make a move on our behalf. Moving forward, we want to do a custom home. And simply because what we want, being in this house, really opened our eyes to what we not only want in our future home, but what we need.
yeah.
Because there are a lot of things that we couldn't get in this home because it just wasn't available in this model. But we realized that there's just some things that we need, and there's a different plan that we want for our house. Our master bedroom is on the first floor, and the kids' room, it's upstairs. To me, at first, it wasn't that bad because that's how it was.
We knew that going in.
Yeah. We knew that.
Having the kids' bedroom on a different floor.
Yeah.
Is not ideal.
No. Especially
unless
when
your
they're
kids
young.
are older.
Yeah.
I guess if your kids are older, it'd be less of an issue.
Yeah, because they're older, they can do whatever. But when you have a baby and a clingy 7-year-old that wants to still sleep in a bed with their parents, I hate hearing and seeing them come downstairs in the dark. Like, it just makes mom guilt. That's what it is. I feel bad, and I just think that moving forward, I mean, I just want all of us to be on the same floor. You know, that's just a must in the next house. And then, like, with my office, like, I want to have just an office, and then I want a guest room. Like, there's just a lot that I want moving forward. There's a lot of things that he wants moving forward. Like, there's just a lot that not really a lot, but there's just some things that could make a big difference moving forward. And from what we've seen as far as layouts and floor plans, more than likely some builders might not be able to do that.
Yeah, we looked at a lot of builders. We looked at a lot of plans. I mean, we looked at a lot of stuff that, you know, builders that aren't even in Texas.
Yeah.
You know, we were just looking and looking and looking.
Yeah.
And we just never found the perfect home. And heck, I think we haven't even completely decided on what the perfect home is yet.
Yeah. Like,
I want one level, personally. If we have the land, which is another thing.
Yeah, that's what we're kind of deciding on.
She wants a curvy staircase.
Yes,
She wants a second floor in the house for the sole purpose of getting a curved staircase.
Not for the sole purpose. No.
I told her we can get us a curved staircase and it just goes to nowhere.
It goes to the ceiling.
Yeah, we can have a bell tower.
No.
You can climb up the curved staircase just to ring the bell.
No. You see how you crazy. I think once we get a little older, and then, I mean, I think about your parents too, and my mom too. Like, you know, they are getting older, so that's why, like, with the guest room, I know I drew out a plan in my journal one day. I just drew out a floor plan of, like, our future home, you know, just throwing it out there in the atmosphere. And I had put the guest room upstairs because I want that to be like the media room, the guest room with a whole, you know, guest suite and everything. But then I thought about, I was like, no, because our parents are getting older, and like, what if they come down in 10 years and they're able to go upstairs and we don't have an elevator? I just think about little stuff like that. So the things we want and the way we want our house laid out, if we decide to go with the one floor or the second floor, it's going to take somebody, it's just going to take us sitting down with somebody and designing it, like, you know, trying to, you know, draw it out and put it together and hope that they can make it work.
And I'm sure they'll have a lot of input as well, because they'll have designed these homes before. And, you know, the area we want to move to, there's a lot of custom builders.
Yes.
And if they've done it a ton of times, then they'll be like, well, you know what, we did that once and it really didn't work out.
Yeah, because you remember one guy.
Maybe you should rethink that.
Yeah. The one builder that I would love for us to go for, the one builder I would love for us to go with, he mentioned about the Jack and Jills, because I thought that would be a good idea for Tristan and Maddie, but he had mentioned that more than likely that's not a good idea with custom building. I can't remember exactly why he said that, but he just mentioned about when it comes to the custom designing of Jack and Jills, it's something about it. So he mentioned he suggested not doing that, but I mean, I don't know. I guess as they're getting older, they should have their own bathrooms. Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But moving forward, we will prefer, and Lord, hear our prayer. We would like to go custom, because we want to make sure that, look, if we're going to build a home again and we're going to be here long term, we want to make sure that it's the home we want. Yeah.
Plus with custom building, like, I don't know, I'm sure you can tell from the videos, we're not the tidiest of people. We make messes. We don't need a 4,000 square foot home.
Yes.
And if we can get a 2,500 square foot home, but that 2,500 square feet is all the way we want it, if it's all usable space, it'll be like a 4,000 square foot home. You know, we're not going to have some fancy dining room that we're never going to use.
Yeah, he's not a fan of the formal dining rooms.
or like a sitting room off the main entryway. Like, we're not going to sit. We don't have time to just sit in the sitting room.
Because a lot of people just decorate it and just leave it.
Yeah,
you know.
It's not like I'm going to go out there and smoke my pipe.
Well, he doesn't smoke anything, first of all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to have a brandy and a cigar in the sitting room.
Right. Because, a lot of people use those rooms, like, as soon as you walk in, they use it just for decoration, or, sometimes they use it for, like, holidays, and we just feel like we don't want a room that's just going to be empty space.
We would use that room to pile up our mess.
Yeah, and we don't want to do that.
You don't need that.
Yeah, we want to make sure that the kids have their own playroom, because that way they can make their mess. It's not a mess in the living room. Outside is designated just for their mess. Master suite. I really, if the kids' room, if we put it on the first floor with us, then I would say let's keep the master suite, because that seems like a common thing nowadays. They're putting the master suites on the first floor I get it, because it's bigger, with the master suite, it just makes it much bigger.
And then once your kids grow up and move out, then you don't have to worry about the second floor.
Yeah.
As much.
Yeah.
So it does make sense if you plan on growing old in the home.
And see, that's, not saying that we're probably going to grow old, but we want something long term, and that's why we would just want to go with the custom route. Unless, because I've seen some builders in Houston. There's one called J. Perry. I follow them on Instagram. No, I follow them on Facebook, and like there was one layout, I was like, that's perfect. And then the one I showed you on TikTok, I can't remember the builder. It's a Houston builder, but I was like, oh my God, that is it right there. So, but like I said, if the builder has a layout like it, we'll go with it. Or if there's a pre-existing home that's kind of like it.
That's the other option. If we can find, if it's the right location, and it has a pre-existing home on it.
Yeah. And the price is right.
Yeah. I keep trying to tell her you have to jump on it.
Yeah.
Because you can always change the home.
Yeah.
I said it in the beginning. You can't change your location. Once you have that location, that's your location.
Yeah.
If it's the right location, and maybe the house is small, you can build an addition later.
Yep. That's my parents did.
If the house is old, you can update it.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yep, Mitra B. That's why I love her. You don't know her, but she did that. She bought an older home in Alabama, and it's so modern now. Like, you can't even tell it's old. It was old in the first place.
And depending on how handy you are, I mean, you can redo drywall, you can redo plaster, you can countertops and sinks. That stuff's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to Lowe's, you buy it, and you slide it in place, put in 4 screws, and you're done. Like, some people can do that, some people can't.
Yeah.
And, bigger remodels, if the house is $50,000 below your total budget, that's $50,000 you can use to get an extension.
Yeah.
Have them blow out that kitchen wall and give yourself a great room.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you can make it your own thing with a pre-existing home. So, we will weigh all of our options because Lord's willing, next move, like I said, it'll be long-term. And that's why when we go into this, like, I'm glad that we're planning it now or talking about it now, because that way when we go into it, we already know what we want. We know how many acres we want. We know what kind of, we don't want to live in a big development next time around, because that was my thing. I've always wanted to stay in a development because I grew up in one, but seeing that we live in one that has a lot of people, I personally, I wouldn't do that again. So it's just a lot of things that we've been thinking about, talking about, and considering. And just when we move forward with the next house, we'll know what we want. We know what we want, and it's going to take longer though.
It's going to take a long time. It's going to be a lot more expensive. I mean, those are all things that you're going to have to weigh out. But in my opinion, I mean, if you're really planning on being there for 20, 30, 50 years, it's better to pay a little more up front. Try to get a bigger down payment if you can.
Yep.
Bring your monthly payments down. But in the long term, if you're thinking about like living there long enough to pay off the mortgage, then you want exactly what you want.
Exactly.
Like get what you want.
Go all out.
and if you're going custom, you can, like I said, you can get exactly what you want.
Yeah.
At the time, your wants are going to change as well.
That's true.
So as you get older, you're going to want something different. You might become more sophisticated. I doubt I will.
You're so silly.
Of course, I don't have much longer to go. I'm already getting pretty old.
Keep on. No, I got to keep you young forever. That's what I'm here for.
But yeah, I think the next time, it might not be the best investment. It might not be the smartest use of your money. But if you're planning on dying in the home, you can't take your money with you. You might as well enjoy it while you have it.
Yeah.
And you can, you'd be happier.
Yeah.
And if you're happier, then I'd rather leave my kids with good memories than a big bank account.
Oh.
So.
Well. Yeah, and that's another thing too, because they're gonna grow up pretty much in our next home, and if they decide to go to college, great. If when they graduate, they need a place to come home to, it's there for them. We don't know what the future holds, but like he said, you just want to make sure you're happy with what you have, and go all out if you have to. Go just do what makes you happy. But we've already been talking about, I'm gonna call it the Wise Texas Estates. Yeah, I'll go ahead and speak that into existence. Just because, like I said, it's gonna be not super big, but like it's gonna be nicer. Because
if it's in Texas, we should call it a homestead.
Homestead
or ranch.
Oh gosh, yeah, because there are a lot of ranches.
Gotta head back to the homestead.
The Wise Texas Homestead. Oh my gosh.
Get my boots on, head out to the ranch.
Yeah, because there's a lot. We want acreage. We want I want a 3-car garage. So he can have his man cave garage, and there's just a lot. Pool, because our kids would be getting older, and I feel bad because Maddie, she was like, "Mommy, my friend has a pool. They have a pool. And I'm just like, "Okay, Maddie, hold on, we'll get a pool." And she's over there floating in the inflatable one.
Why don't you learn how to swim first, Pumpkin?
Exactly. Let's do that first, and then we'll get an in-ground pool. So there's just a lot that we've been talking about, and if it be
barn.
Yeah, a barn.
I want a barn.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's just that Texas living. Like, we just want animals.
Well, I don't want the barn for animals. I want the barn for my stuff.
Oh. Oh yes. See, that's about his man garage cave. His man cave garage.
Barn.
Barn.
Man cave, barn,
yeah.
garage.
He can go hide out.
Workshop.
That's pretty much it, you guys. So that's been our journey so far, and pretty much what we're looking towards in the future for our future home building process, whenever that might be. So we hope that these tips were helpful and are inspiring in case you are trying to buy a home. You can decide if you want to build, buy a pre-existing, or you want to go the custom way. We hope that these tips were helpful, but definitely do your research. Definitely, you know, consult with a real estate agent if you have to, and definitely just do what makes you happy, because a home is an investment and you want to make sure that you're happy with the investment that you're making for your life. So yeah, anything else?
No.
All right. So if you guys have any more questions or topics that you'd like for us to talk about, leave them down below. We hope that you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Peace.
My hand. I'm picking my hand. Oh my gosh.